Hey everyone, welcome to the Meta Report, where we break down some pro trends in just a couple of minutes. Patch 12.3 brought big changes to fighter items, which in turn is slowly shaking up the meta, especially in the jungle and top lane. The most impactful changes were the changes to Gourd Drinker and Sterak's Gauge. These two items were the go-to core build for the most popular junglers such as Xin Zhao, Lee Sin, and Jarvan, and also some top laners such as Renekton. The issue with this build was that it just provided too much. Fighters are typically very good duelists, and with Gourd Drinker and Sterak's, they also become excellent frontliners in teamfights with a good mix of damage and survivability. Simply put, they did everything well, which is naturally problematic. So, Gourd Drinker gained 10 AD but lost 150 health. This is noticeable for the old meta build because Sterak's scales off of bonus health, post 12.3 even more so than before. Gourd Drinker now has the same health as Stridebreaker, so expect to see the other mythic to get picked up more often against ranged comps and on champions that like the slow and the attack speed, such as Xin Zhao. Let's talk about the Sterak's changes. The item lost its AD and in turn now gives 40% of your base AD as bonus AD. This means that if you have less than 125 base AD, the item will grant less AD than before. 125 base AD is a very high number. To give context, Lee Sin only gets to around this value at level 17. Same for Renekton and Irelia. Aatrox at level 15, and some champions such as Xin Zhao and Jarvan don't even reach 125 base AD at level 18. In addition, the item lost a Bloodlust passive that healed champions during combat. In a teamfight, melee champions would heal for 6% of their maximum health over 6 seconds, and now that's gone. Lastly, the shield no longer requires being in a 5v5 teamfight to get full value, but it's now a decaying shield instead of staying at full strength for its duration. Generally speaking, this item is now a scaling, late-game purchase that benefits from a lot of bonus health stacking. Oh, hello, Sion.
It's been too long.
You should not be building this second. Looking at you, Adam and Syncroft. So what do these changes mean for core builds and the champions that build them? Well, they have to go into other build paths. Of the meta junglers, this change hits Jarvan the hardest. He has very little damage mitigation, and once he goes in, he has limited ways of getting out. While he's still very popular, expect his build to change and for him to go into tank items after Gourd Drinker now. Lee Sin and Xin are also affected, but less so, as they have more mobility or ways to mitigate damage. So, what are viable alternatives for second items for junglers? On the offensive side, there's Black Cleaver and Death's Dance. The first option is a good mix of health, AD, and a lot of ability haste, so it can be great to help you get more spell rotations out in a short time. The item also gives stacking movement speed for sticking power. It's a good item that has a bit of everything, but you won't be as tanky as you were with Sterak's. Death's Dance has been changed yet again, and its bleed now applies to magic damage too. However, the reset mechanic now depends on the champion dying within 3 seconds of damaging them. It can be great if you're snowballing and getting a lot of takedowns to guarantee the heal, but it's worse when playing from behind as it's an expensive item and it isn't great when you're sitting on components. When behind, you're also usually less likely to get takedowns, which means you have limited chances to get heals and remove the bleed. TLDR, whenever you're not getting full use of the item, it feels very underwhelming. Maw of Malmortius got buffed, and should be more attractive now. It's especially good to pair it, or its component Hex Drinker, with Death's Dance due to the change to the bleed working on magic damage too. Alternatively, there's always the option to go into tank items, with Randuin's Omen, Force of Nature, and Frozen Heart all being situationally good options. These are safer options, especially when behind. So, what are the other ramifications of these fighter item changes outside of what already has been mentioned? With Enchanter supports being played often, the Gourd Drinker Sterak's junglers were usually the pseudo tanks and frontline for teamfights. With them being less durable on 2 items, expect seeing the return of chem tank junglers, such as Volibear or Hecarim. Blade of the Ruined King also got buffed. This is a good Jax, Irelia, and Viego item. It's possible that we'll see more Irelia as a mid-top flex and into Jace matchups in the top lane, for example, and Jax into matchups like Camille, where he plays to scale, or against heavy auto-attack based comps where he can also scale and become a threat at 3 items. In the top lane, we have seen a recent development as well, not due to a direct change, but as a consequence of all the other changes, and that is Hullbreaker. The top lane pool is shifting slightly into champions that can use the item. Priced at 2,800, the item gives excellent base stats, and that's even before considering the resistances giving from being isolated. Champions like Graves that can struggle to group and find angles to fight against heavy teamfights killing comps with enchanters and hyper carries can look to split push with this item instead. We've also seen Tryndamere adopt the same playstyle, and many other AD fighters can look towards this option as well. Grouping is still an option with Hullbreaker, as the base stats on their own are still good enough. As a bonus, it's also a very good option when used against champions without consistent damage for wave clear. Tanks and AP champions require multiple rotations of spells to clear the buffed up cannon minion. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope this helped with understanding fighter itemization a bit better and how the meta is shifting due to the 12.3 changes. See you next time.